Now, in the last session, what we did was we created the URL patterns inside that home.urls empty path. In that views I gave index dot. So here what I'll get is that if I'm sending this as my HTTP response, what I should get, save all, and when I open my command prompt and run, okay, cd slash aptinity, right? Aptinity. No, 1 second. Where is that? No. dir cd aptnity dir. In this, what we have this apt. So every program, whenever we start, what we are supposed to do is that we are supposed to activate the virtual environment by typing scripts slash activate. So now Aptinity virtual environment is activated here. Now next what you are supposed to do is that we will go to Aptinity and see what is the present condition of the site. Okay, Python manage.py run server. Now when we run server, what we will be getting? We are supposed to get that this is my first Django project. Now I'll give you another example now, just to make you understand how URLs and views work. Path. I want to give about us page, for example, for my company's website. I'm giving about us. And what I'm doing is that I'm defining views dot about us, and I can give some name for this path. This name is important because we will be dealing with names in future. Name is equal to about us. Okay, we have already imported everything from views. Okay, from dot import views means I've imported the complete views into my urls.py page. Now in views, what I'm supposed to do, I'm supposed to define what is this views dot about us. It's a function inside the views py file. So I'll define that as def about us. About us. It's simply taking request and the same return HTTP response, and inside that I'm giving simply about us. About us. Okay, and I'm saving all these files. Save. Now if I open this about us here, about us, I'll get this about us page, whatever is there in that here. Okay, so that is how I'm defining the URLs. I'm defining what should be displayed in URLs. So far we have not dealt with models. Models is something where we are going to deal with databases. Okay, is that clear? Now I'll give you a small introduction to what is context. Context in Django. Please listen carefully. Now here, okay, here I am planning to render a very simple HTML file. Okay, so I will be creating what is called as a template. We have a system called as template in Django. So in order to call HTML files in Django, we'll be using what is called as a template engine, or what are templates. For that, what I'll do is that in my app folder, I'll create a new folder. Okay, new folder. I will call that folder as templates. Okay, inside this templates folder, I'm creating another new folder called as home. Okay, inside this home, I'm creating a new new file, and I'm calling this as index.html. Okay, templates, home. Inside that home, I'm creating index.html. Okay. In this, I am just, what I'm doing is that from Bootstrap home, I'm just copying the starter template to use. Bootstrap templates, not templates, starter templates, and I'll go to the Bootstrap website and I'll go to the starter template like this, and where is that? Docs, getting, see, this is the quick start template where I'm going to print this hello world. I've copied this contents and I've pasted this inside my index.html. Okay, now let me save this file. And what I'm supposed to do is that I am supposed to render this HTML file. Okay, so instead of returning HTTP response, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use Django.shortcuts.render. Inside this render, I'm going to give request as the first argument. Whatever we give inside the brackets for functions, we call it as arguments. Inside this, I'm going to give us, what is that, index.home/index.html. Now when I run this file, I'm supposed to get that index.html here. Okay, let me see whether I'm getting or not. It's not about us, it's about the home page. So I'm getting the template does not exist, and this Django engine has searched in all places. These are the places it has searched. So let me define where I have to keep my templates, or where Django has to search. So here I am getting the error that template does not exist. So we have to define where our templates are. Okay. So how we'll define that? We'll go to our settings file. Okay, and then what we'll do is that we'll import OS. Import OS, and in templates, what we can do is that template directories, what we can do is that OS dot base directory, right? One second. In settings dot py, we have already defined this base directory. Okay. So now what we are supposed to do is that we have to base underscore dir. Okay, and then we have to add that templates. Okay, that means base dir slash templates. So the Django will look for base directory, means this is a root directory. In that we'll be having this templates folder. So base directory means not here, it should be outside. So let us save this, and now what we are doing is that we are just changing that directory to an outside one. Okay, so here I'm opening this, and this home, I have these templates. I'm just cutting this and I'm pasting it outside. Now what happens is that now when you run this, what happens is that it will search for this one also. Aptinity templates home slash index.html source does not exist. We'll try once again. So let me check if there is aptinity, not two aptinities. Templates, not in home. See, it is there in outside. So we need to just relocate that here. Okay, see here templates. This index is outside the home. So this is yes. This is wanted to move it. Now I moved it inside. Now let me check whether see hello world is coming. This is how I am importing HTML templates in my Django program. Is that clear? Now I'll tell you what is context. Suppose you want to transfer something from your views, some values or some forms or some objects, whatever we do in Python, you can create and you can use it. Okay. So let me teach you how to use context. Now hereafter we'll be working more with views. Okay. Now context, let me create a variable called as context. It's simply a variable. And this is a dictionary. A dictionary in Python is a key value pair. Okay. I'm giving it as name here, and this is another string called as my name. Okay. Or let me call it just Abhijit, for example. And here in render, I am also adding another one called as context. Clear? And I am saving this file. Now I am opening that index.html here. And instead of hello world, I am putting here h2 welcome, and in that I am calling a context here. Okay. So here I am using curly braces. Inside that I am giving my what is that I have given here? Name. And I am closing this h2. Sorry, double brackets. So I'll get that Abhijit, which is the context of the name here. Okay. Are you able to understand how to import and work with HTML files? Clear? No, context will have lot of applications. I'll tell you as we go on, we'll learn a lot of things. Okay. When you use logins, when you use usernames, when you all these places will be needing context in a very context can be forms, can be any Python objects. Okay. Is that clear with you now so far? So I have done like this. Next, what I'm going to tell you, what I'm going to teach you is, okay. Now what I'm going to teach you is that instead of using this templates index, I'm having all these things, I'm having about us page also. Okay, so I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to call it as about us.html, and where I'm going to save it here itself inside my templates folder, html. I'm created this file. Now actually I don't need to copy all these things again and again and again, right? I'll call this as home page, right? And this one I simply am copying and pasting here, and I'm calling this as about us page. About us page. Okay, I'm saving here. Now in this, I'm creating another one link. Now here I am creating another one link. Ahref is equal to about us. Okay, and I'm putting it as about us page, about us, and I'm closing this Ahref. Okay, so what I'm getting now, I'm getting a link to about us page. When I click this link, I'm going to about us, right? Now I want to simplify this process because I want the same things to come in the about us page also. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to create another one file called as base.html. That's what I was telling you previously. Okay. Inside this itself you can create, or you can create even outside, but let me create inside for convenience. In base.html, what I am doing is that I am copying all these things, Control C, pasting this. I am keeping only the things that is going to be common for all pages. The rest of the things I am going to change. Okay, so here what I am going to do is that I am going to delete these things. Okay, and I am going to add something called as breadcrumbs. For example, you can do anything, but here I will do one thing now. I'll create a href is equal to, this is for the home page itself. Okay, and I'm creating it as home. Say for example something like a nav bar. Okay, similarly about us and about us. Okay, so what I've done now, I've created another base.html. In that I've created something like a nav bar. I've created two ahrefs, one is to the home and the other one is to the about us page. Now what I'm going to do is that I am going to create some blocks, block content, 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 and for using certain variables we need to have end block also, end block. Okay, so there is a block content and I have put end block. Listen carefully so that you can understand. Now I have saved this. Now I'm going to index.html and I'm going to delete all these things. Okay, now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to extend this base, extends base.html. Okay, when I extend that, the entire base.html file is brought into this template. Here now what I wanted to do is that I wanted to use that block content, right? Block, BLOCK, content, and percentage end block. Okay, and I'm going to put that this is my home page. Okay, I'm going to copy this, Control C, and in About Us page I'm going to remove all these things, and I'm going to put this is my About Us page. About Us page. And I'm going to save all these files. Okay. So is that, now let me refresh and see what is happening in my home page. Okay, the template does not, okay. There is one, this base can be outside, the base has to be defined outside, base has to be, okay, I will just base is generally Django looks into the one folder above the app for base. Okay, now you can see that in the folder structure you can see that there is a base.html and here it is there. Now let me check whether the base is sexy. We have About Us and Home. If you click About Us, it will say this is my About Us page. I have not saved that file, that's the reason. What is it? About Us.html. This. Okay. Just a minute. Let me make that base.html also somewhat better, so that this, let me just, so you see Home and About Us, then here we'll give a small break for bit more clarity. Save. Now you see Home page is there, About Us page is there. The About Us page, what is being rendered is About Us.html. It is extending base.html and content. No, this is here. Control X. Here in views, I have to change this to About Us.html. Okay, because here it has only rendered an HTTP response, direct response, not an HTML page. Now I have to correct this so that the About Us page is being, HTML is being rendered. So now when I declare here the context is not defined, context is not defined because it is not defined. So I'll save this. Now home.views does not, okay, here what happened, return, what did we do, render request home slash index.html comma context. Okay, what is the problem with return? We got everything right. Okay, so this is home page, this is About Us page, this is my About Us page. You understand? So what is the purpose of this base.html is that all common things can be collected in the base, and each page you don't need to repeat that same HTML code. You just need to extend that HTML code. You just need to extend that base.html for it to work correctly. Is that clear? Properly understood, all of you? Yes or no? Shall we proceed? Okay. So now, next thing what we are supposed to do is that we have another file called as models. Here is where we are going to create the database. We are going to extract information from the database and display all these things in our website. So we'll be using user authentication system built in by Django. We'll be using forms. We'll be using so many other things as we go ahead. Okay. So initially what we can do is that we can create templates and pages. You can use Bootstrap navigation bar. Here instead of all these things, in base.html, suppose you want to create a navigation bar, what you can do is that you can go to Bootstrap and in nav bars, you can copy this nav bar and you can paste it here so that you have a nav bar here and the website looks interesting. We have this nav bar here. We are not getting this because I think we have not imported Bootstrap CSS CDN. So in order to do that, what we can do is that it is better that what we can do is that introduction. Either you can use that CDN or Bootstrap.css is not here, right? So this is that CDN which you can copy and paste it here. So once you pasted this CNN, I got this page working. CDN, that is been I'm linking to this. Otherwise, what we can do is that we can also download the entire Bootstrap and then keep it as CSS file and then start working on that. So I suppose that the basics are clear now, right? With respect to Django, how to import templates and all the other reasons. Now, next thing is that static files are not as easy as what has been thought before. If you want to import images, if you want to import CSS files, you need to do lot of other things also. We'll deal with that in the next class because today is almost time is up. You need to do a small practice of whatever we have done so far. Okay, so by then I think the time will be up. So thank you all. Thank you for listening.